to wrap up this fall.
Chicago about to get its first Culver's restaurant, and it's going to be in Wrigleyville. The Wisconsin-based hamburger chain will open a new location on the 3500 block of North Clark. It's the former site of a Chase Bank. Unlike most other Culver restaurants, it will not have a drive-through. It should be open early next year. North Suburban Evanston also getting its first Culver's. It's going to be at the corner of Howard Street and McCormick Boulevard.
Next week.
Something new, Culver's, is coming to Chicago. The fast food chain, known for its butter burgers and custard, plans to open a store on the north side of the city, just 2 blocks from Wrigley Field. It is in the permit process right now, and if all goes as planned, the store could be open by next spring.
Looks good.
It does.
Still.
Culver's, the Wisconsin-based butter burger and custard chain, plans to open its first restaurant in the city of Chicago early next year. The planned location is at 3500 North Clark Street in Wrigleyville. Now, the location won't have a drive-through, I should say, but it will have a window facing the street, which the owner says he hopes will be popular with the neighbors' late-night crowd. So he plans to keep the restaurant open perhaps until midnight or 1 a.m. on weekends and game night.
Entry into a crowded and very competitive smartphone market.
Chicago about to get its first Culver's restaurant. The Wisconsin-based hamburger chain will open a few new locations, one in Wrigleyville in the 3500 block of North Clark. It's the former site of a Chase Bank. Unlike most other Culver restaurants, it will not have a drive-through. Should open early next year. North Suburban Evanston also getting one. It'll be at the corner of Howard Street and McCormick Boulevard. I've got to see what all the hype is about.
Yeah,
one of these?
Sweet additions. Yeah. They are yummy. Gotta try it.
Yeah.
That expansion.
Wisconsin-based butterburger chain Culver's announced plans to open their first location inside city limits of Chicago. That new location set for Wrigleyville, 3500 block of North Clark. Due to the tight quarters, there won't be a drive-through, which normally accounts for about 40% of Culver's sales. To make up for it, the restaurant will have a walk-up window facing the street. Also, they plan to keep the store open later than most other Culver's.
The Butter Burger is coming to Chicago. Culver's plans to open its first restaurant in the city early next year. The Wisconsin-based chain will open up in the Wrigleyville neighborhood at 3500 North Clark Street. With Chicago's high property values, it will be the most expensive plot of any Culver's location, but this one will not have a drive-through. The franchise hopes the late-night crowd in Wrigleyville will make up for that, and another location is planned for Evanston.
And Culver's, the Wisconsin-based eatery known for its butter burgers and frozen custard, is coming to Chicago. The chain has numerous locations in the suburbs, but now plans to open its first restaurant within the city limits next year, 3500 North Clark in the Wrigleyville area. Taking a look at the
participate. And Wrigleyville is getting a Culver's. The butter burger and custard chain plans to open its first restaurant in Chicago proper early next year. There won't be a drive-through at that location, but the Tribune reports the restaurant will have a window facing the street that could be popular with the neighborhood's late-night crowd.
The fact that Culver's is top news for us just goes to show you where our minds are at.
Too funny. I mean,
a concrete
just talked about
and
that.
A butter burger, honey.
How great Culver's is. And then it would just move right into the neighborhood.
Hello. And here's one more thing they can spend money on. It's about to get buttery in Wrigleyville. The Wisconsin-based fast food chain Culver's plans to open its first restaurant in the city of Chicago next year. The company plans to set up shop at 3500 North Clark, where the former Chase Bank was once located. Now, because of high property values and rents and things like that in the city, this location will be the most expensive of all the Culvers that are out there. And it will not have a drive-through, which is where 40% of their sales come from. However, instead of a drive-through, the restaurant will have a walk-up window facing the street.